Okay, this is the RHINO Rescue First Aid Kit, billed as being for tactical military travel. This thing is just stuffed to the gills with first aid equipment, and it's a pretty well thought out and packaged thing. So you might think, hey, this is great, I should have one of these in my car. I'm here to tell you, you probably shouldn't, because this thing is about half of the material in here is really only usable by EMS trained people. So civilians like you and me who don't have medical training, there's a lot of wasted space in here because there's a lot of stuff in here that you're not going to know how to use, and you really shouldn't even try to use. They specifically label it as stuff as being EMS training only, and there's a lot of other stuff that I would say is on the borderline of EMS training only. So, you know, this is a 5-star product, but only for certain people, and it's probably not you and it's probably not me. Let's take a look inside and I'll kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can first off see that this thing is completely packed. You've got a lot of stuff on the top that you can see, and these pockets on each side are loaded with other equipment. So there's just a ton of stuff in here. In addition to that, there's a couple of pieces of tape. You've got this tactical combat casualty care card. This looks like something that's used in the military when you're sending somebody from the field into a hospital. You can write up what's wrong with them. I don't think this is going to be of any use to you when you're hiking and are trying to treat a bee sting. And we have a first aid manual here, which describes some of these things like applying a tourniquet, applying a chest seal to a pneumothorax, emergency bandage, splints, all of these things, to the idea that you're going to be able to pick this up and run with it just from this little manual when you need it is probably a little far-fetched. Let's take some stuff in here, for example, a splint. So this is a rescue splint. This is a flexible splint that has foam on the outside and aluminum on the inside, and you can form a splint with it to repair a broken leg or a sprained wrist. If you're not trained yet, if you haven't been trained in this, it might not be so easy to do. We've got a tourniquet package here. So this is for when somebody has really severe bleeding. Again, without training, I'm not sure you should be using this. We've got 2 different kinds of chest seals. These are for when somebody has a serious chest injury. Do you know which one to use? Do you know how to place it? I know I don't. We've got a nasopharyngeal airway. If you watch TV, you've probably seen doctors put this into somebody who can't breathe. Do you know how to put it in? There's no way you do, unless you've been specifically trained. So my point is, there's a lot of stuff in here like this. Now, that's not to say that there's not a lot of bandages that you can use, tape, gauze, regular bandages. But I think the problem is that there's so much space taken up by the stuff that you can't use. You would rather have the space taken up by stuff that you can use. So, the final recommendation here is that if you're an EMS or a trained Army medic and you want this for your home use, you can probably evaluate it really quickly and see if it's right for you. If you're an ordinary civilian, I say you're not trained for this stuff. It's better off if you don't even have it around, unless you're planning on putting in some serious training time with it.